Today you see a pinafore or a jumper. Amazing denim in a color I'd always wanted. I found some. It's gonna take me all the way from summer to winter. Just really fun styling over here. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and I have some woven sewing to share with you. A really versatile piece that you can wear on its own or with layers underneath, and I knew this was going to work for me, whatever the weather, so I was really excited to sew it up, and I know I can wear it right now over here in Cambridge. I have about 2 months left here. The weather is still really cold, and yeah, I'm grateful for a nice sunny day. It's just such a nice boost. So what I'm talking about is the Elmstead Pinafore or jumper from Itch to Stitch, brand new pattern. It's sleeveless design, of course, with a V neckline that's not too low, and that's why you're able to wear it on its own if you want to with a nice bra. You don't need layers as such, but you might want to. There's a button placket all the way down the front, easy placket that's integrated into the center front piece. You don't need to cut a separate one. So that's always nice. And for fitting, the features here are so great with the princess seams front and the back. The bust cup sizes, always an amazing little feature there that is going to help you so much to get a good fit. And on the front side panel, there are easy to sew pockets there, just slanted openings, very easy, non-bulk type pockets that I always really like. Now at the back, you have those princess seams and you can sew a strap with a buckle there as an option. I would have loved to sew that, but I could not get my hands on the right buckle. So for this time, I had to opt out of that feature, although I love it. And I might actually sew it in later with a button. If you don't know, when you're doing a pattern test like me, you're not supposed to change things like that. So later on, I will add my strap with a button, and I think that will be okay. The neckline and the armholes are finished with bias tape that you can make yourself or you can buy. I was very fortunate to find the matching color, and I was able to purchase some, which saved me a lot of time and fabric. Because the Elmstead is a brand new pattern at Itch to Stitch, it's going to be 20% off through next Tuesday, the 24th of February. So it's nicer to grab it for less. I'm going to leave you my affiliate link at the top of the comment section and in the description box. If you click there, it'll take you directly to the website. The link is going to work. I'm going to receive a small commission. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's one way that you can support what I do here on YouTube, creating really helpful sewing content. I love doing it, and I'd love your support. So if you use my link, thank you so much. Now, what fabrics do you need? This is designed for stretch wovens. I think in theory, you could make it with a woven. I think there is enough ease. After wearing this one and experimenting it, I think a woven would be okay because there is enough ease. Although I know the stretch woven, that little bit of spandex in your fabric is going to give you a lot more comfort. So stick with the fabric recommendation, but if you're a little brave, just go with a woven and I think you will be okay. So the typical fabrics here would be a corduroy, a denim, a cotton twill, cotton sateen. When I'm talking about stretch woven, look at the fabric composition. You usually find a 1 to 2% spandex. You know, when you stretch it, it probably won't be more than 10 or 15%. So it's not a huge amount of stretch. Now, what fabric did I buy? Stretch denim. This is the fabric I've chosen for my pinafore. You're supposed to have some stretch. This is denim. It's got 1 or 2% spandex, I believe. So there is a little bit of give right here. None vertically, but you just need it horizontally. You can even see the threads of lycra in there mixed in with the cotton. And I think it's going to be good for the style in denim. I love that I found it in green though. I'd never found green denim before, so I'm excited to use this. Nice and structured, should be easy to press and sew. And this is a fabric I saw in person when I went to Backstitch, which is a shop just out of Cambridge. It's a brick and mortar shop that I visited. I even have a whole video showing you the shop. I remember that green denim and I thought, why didn't I buy it when I went there? But I could buy it online, easy peasy. The Royal Mail got here the next day and I'm so happy because green denim is a fabric I've never seen anywhere. Like I know there's denim in all colors, but where you shop and everything, you don't usually find those things. Well, they had it and I'm so happy because now I have a green pinafore. Amazing. Other notions you need, fusible interfacing for the placket area, for the top of the pocket section. You need 8 buttons according to the instructions. I use 10 because I like mine closer together. The buckle, if you're going to do the strap at the back, and bias tape you can make or buy. Sizing amazing, 0 to 40 US up to a 62-inch hip. Nice cup sizes as usual when you have a woven pattern from A through to double D. When you measure your bust, high bust, full bust, you find the difference. So an A cup would be a 1-inch difference all the way to 5 inches, which would be the double D. So yeah, you have a good range there. It's going to make a huge difference with the princess seams right here. The ease is comfortable. You're able to wear a lightweight layer underneath. I wouldn't be wearing a whole cardigan or something really chunky around the bust. You're going to have about 4.5 inches, around the waist around 3, around the hips around 4. So it's a nice amount to wear something underneath, and if you're not going to wear anything, then you're just going to be even more comfortable. What am I doing? I'm doing a C cup, which means I have a 3-inch difference. It stays consistent. I've chosen a size 12, which matches my current measurements for my bust and my waist, and then a 14 to the hips. Easy adjustments just from the waist out, blend, easy peasy. Another adjustment I know I have to make is lower that bust height. I have a whole video showing you how to do that with darts and princess seams. I'll leave that as a resource. I lowered this curve by 3/4 of an inch, and it's pretty consistent. It's very easy to do once you've done it a few times. It makes a huge difference because then that curve is going to actually follow your shape. Another fitting adjustment I made was because of my length, my height. So my pinafore is 1 inch longer. Otherwise, it would have been a little bit too short. That's it. It was super easy. I didn't make a test garment, nothing like that. I just went for it, and I had so much hope that this was going to be amazing because the patterns are amazing and I've been sewing them for such a long time. So with what I did, I knew it was going to be all okay. Check it out. This is how mine looks like. I love this tone of green. I think it suits me really well. It's got the nice V. It's got the binding finish on there that I'm going to show you how to sew, and on the armholes. Very nice. Princess seams right here and the button placket. I have my buttons placed 7 centimeters apart, which is a tad short of 3 inches apart. I wish I would have bought another extra button. I bought 10. The buttons are expensive here in the UK, let me tell you that. I bought this at Hobbycraft. Luckily, they had something that matched and that I liked. So that's what I got. I should have gotten one more. That's okay. My pockets here is a joint between these 2 sections, and I have quilting cotton in there. This part of the pocket is stabilized with interfacing, so it's super stable. It's not going to stretch out. And at the back, we also have princess seams. In this section is where the strap with the buckle would go. If you're going to do that option, I wasn't able to find the buckle. And you notice that all my seams, there's a yoke seam I just pressed. I've opted out of edge stitching lately. I have done it in the past. The problem with edge stitching is that you're like setting the seam in stone. I can't come back in a couple months and alter that if I need to. So in the past, I found myself trying to unpick edge stitching, and oh my gosh, it is not nice. So for now, I'm leaving my things usually without the edge stitching, just so that I can come in and maybe tweak things down the line. Sometimes fit changes later and I want to take it in a bit or anything. So the edge stitching can get in the way of that. So if you're 100% sure, just go ahead and do the edge stitching. I'm just not doing it right now. Let me show you the inside. I'm sticking to black overlocking thread because it's what I have, and I hope most projects match it. I basically have. That's how it looks like on the inside. The bias tape, the princess seams pressed in towards the center. Same as on the back. Yoke seam right there. Pockets are right here. Under here I have the quilting cotton. Here in the center front we have mitered corners. They're very well explained in the instructions. Love how this turned out. Now I have styled it a bunch of ways. Believe it or not, I'm going to be able to wear it a few ways over here. So you'll see it like I'm going to wear it in Brazil. Different shoes though, and how I'm going to wear it here in Cambridge. Here is my Elmstead Pinafore from Itch to Stitch. I have a sports bra underneath, so you might see that peeking up from the V neckline. This is a stretch denim. I love the green. I made a size 12 C cup, 12 waist, blended to 14 hips, and my pinafore is 1 inch longer. This is realistically how I'm going to wear it when I'm back home in Brazil in the summer, in the autumn, the spring. It'll be perfect. Better footwear. I've just got what I've got right now, and I love the pockets. It's super easy to sew as well. The The ease is very comfortable, have a couple of inches extra at the waist, same as at the hips. You can easily fit one layer that is lightweight underneath, and I think that's how most people are gonna wear it. Check out the fit, princess seams at the back. There is a strap with buckle that's optional. I don't have it because I couldn't find the buckle, but I would have liked to do it. It's fine without it. And you can see it's right above the knee where I want it to be. The extra inch I added, perfect. Pockets have that slant right here, very discreet, perfect height here for my arms. I used quilting cotton in there, no one's gonna see it, nice and neat, and they're very easy to sew. Check out the V neckline, so nice. Finished with bias tape. I bought this one, it's cotton, it's super discreet, very neat. Armholes have good cover to wear without anything. The V is okay with a regular bra as well. This is just a sports bra, that's why there's a little bit peeking there, and I'm very comfortable. The shape I'm happy with here. I lowered the bust height curve by 3/4 of an inch. That's perfect for me. I love the style, it's classic. The V is not too deep that I can't wear it like this. For me, it was really important that I can wear it on its own because it just makes it more versatile for my weather usually. So this is amazing. I love the fit. I think the cup sizes make a huge difference. The pockets are really nice and discreet. They don't add bulk anywhere, and I love that. Love the length. The green denim is everything. A new color that I don't have in this denim. So happy. Now you're gonna see it styled more wintry. I've got a fitted long sleeve top. It's just cotton and tights and a little scarf. I look a little bit Christmassy. I don't mind. I love the color combination. The ease reduces a little bit when you put on all these layers underneath, but it's still super comfortable. I can put this on over my head without needing to open any of the buttons. It's just perfect. The extra little stretch from the denim gives you all the comfort. You can sit down, all the things, and I love this. He comes one layer, which I think would be necessary for me to be able to wear it here. And this is just a little jacket made out of sweatshirting material. It looks way formal than it is, and it's way more comfortable than it looks. So nice. And the gray and the black go perfectly over this green denim. And if I could have access to all my silk scarves I have back home, I would choose one with gray and green. I'm sure I have something that would be a little detail on the neck that is missing right here, but this is perfect. I'm definitely gonna wear this just as it is while I'm over here in Cambridge. And now here is the final look and the warmest of them all. I actually bought this denim thinking about this jacket I made because this boucle has specks of green wool in here. It's really nice and pairs beautifully. Now I have all the layers. I'm super warm. I'll be set to head out in 0-degree weather right now, and I'm really happy about that. That I've been able to create these new pieces while I'm over here in Cambridge. Perfect context for what I'm experiencing right now, and they're so beautiful. This goes so good together. I know the red is a little unexpected, but I love it. It's how I would wear it. I'm going to be able to take my Elmstead Pinafore from Brazilian summer to UK winter. Now let's head to some sewing. I'm excited to share some of the sewing. We're using 1/2 inch seam allowance. I am trimming those down quite a bit though after I've sewn them. These are the front pieces for the Elmstead Pinafore from Itch to Stitch. This is the center front over here. All this area in the center has been interfaced prior. I actually kept it right on the edge of the selvage because it's going to be folded to the inside. You're not going to see it. It was super easy to interface that way. Once I had all that section interfaced, then I cut out my piece. The side front is made out of 2 pieces. The bottom piece is the one that's going to have the pocket. So that's going to be the pocket entrance. This is the pocket bag that goes right here. I used a quilting cotton just to reduce the bulk. Now the top of this pocket needs to be interfaced for stability, so I've done that right there. Once all of this is assembled, then this overlaps like that. That's how we get the side front piece and attach the princess seams right there. I'm going to be using store-bought bias tape I found here. It's cotton, it's soft, it's very nice. It's a dark green. Matches my dark green denim perfectly, so I didn't have to make my own. This is going to be for the necklines and the armhole. Here are the back pieces of the pinafore, also made out of 3. There is a yoke piece, a single layer, it's cut on the fold. Center back is also cut on the fold, and then we have the side back princess seam right there. You can see the waist shaping that comes in here. Very nice. This is a little yoke, so I'm stay stitching the back neckline first from the shoulder into the center, then flipping and doing the same to keep it symmetrical. Because this is designed sleeveless from the get-go, I'm also going to be stay stitching the edges where the armholes are going to be. Because there's princess seams, we're going to have them in separate sections. So lots of stay stitching, more than the usual, but it's unskippable. It's in the instructions. If you don't want things to gape, this is something that you have to do. And then basically all the same thing for the front pieces. I've done various things, prep work basically, to get ready to keep going. Things that are really boring to see. Basically, I serged all the shoulder areas. These are for the front pieces. I also did it for the back on the yoke. So shoulders are done. I've serged also all the sides. So all the pieces that have got to do with side seams are serged, and the bottom edges as well. Even this pocket piece. So when you see the slant, the shorter part, that's going to be on the side. So that on the pocket is serged as well, so I don't have to worry about that. I also did a guide stitch here so that I could press this in. This is an integrated placket, so you don't need to do a separate one. So that's done. I did it with a red thread so I could see. So I have done my memory crease there. I have also done memory creases for the hem. Next, we're going to put the pockets together, and it's super simple. This is the bottom of the side front piece. You can see the slant right there. The shorter edge is the side seam. The taller edge is the one that's going to be the princess seam. So I've got my pockets there, right sides together. I'm doing this contrasting fabric, but no one's ever going to see it. And we're going to sew that right there and right there. I have the pocket piece on top that has the edge that's interfaced because that is the most stable area. The interfacing and plus the fact that it's quilting cotton means it's got no stretch. The piece I have underneath is a stretched denim, so I definitely would not want that layer on the top. Could end up stretching as I sew with the presser foot. So this is pretty straight, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Of course, I'm going to trim the seam allowance down. 1/2 inch is way too much to leave in there. Now we're going to extend this and push the seam allowance underneath the pocket piece. In this case, it's my print. And then we're going to sew right there on the edge that's under stitching to keep this inside and prevent it from being seen. Especially this because it's contrasting. You know, you could have done this with the main fabric, but I think the denim was too heavy for it. So I had this little scrap. Why not? This understitching is going to keep this inside, and I've given it a really nice press. Now, this is going to be caught within the seams. So this is not going to move. If you wanted to, you could top stitch this as something decorative. It's optional for you. It's not part of the pattern, so I'm going to continue. Okay, here are the bottom of the side pieces from the front, and here are the pockets. This is wrong sides up. Now let's grab our top side pieces. And remember, the shortest part here is the side seam. The longest part is what's going to be part of the princess seam. So I'm going to match this up the same. This is serged here. This is the side seam. And I'm going to put this on top and align the bottom of this piece with the bottom of the pocket. And that is how we're going to sew the bottom of the pocket together. These pockets are so easy because basically after sewing this, that closes up the pocket. And then the sides are going to be closed with the side seam straight seams, and then with the princess seam serge. That finishes up the pocket. Okay, here is how the pocket looks like from the wrong side. Sewn and serged. I've pinned it here on the side seams. Remember, anything that had to do with the sides, I had already serged. So all my layers are going to be free here, less bulky for sure. This side is all raw because it's part of the princess seam. So now I'm just basting on the edge, both sides. It'll turn this into one piece, and I can forget the pockets are there and then just treat all of this as one piece. Here is my pinafore, basically pinned the whole thing. I'm not making a test garment, so before I go ahead and sew, I wanted to try it on. So I pinned everything with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Side seams, princess seams, shoulder seams, basically all pinned. I tried it on. I'm super happy. I'm not going to make any changes. So now I'm going to go ahead and commit to sewing. Here are the front pieces, the center and the side. The center is the curve that goes in, the concave curve. That's the one that I like to put on the top, touching the presser foot. The convex curve, the one that goes out, that's the one I want at the bottom with the feed dogs, just because this curved area sometimes stretches out a little bit and the feed dogs can help you ease that in. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the whole thing. Remember this curve, the concave one on top, the convex one on the bottom, and it's going to be the same for the back. Even though this curve here at the back isn't as pronounced as the one where the bust is, That's how I'm going to get everything sewn. So basic seams, 1/2 inch, lots and lots of seams, including side seams, shoulder seams, basically going to sew up the whole thing. I've got 4 princess seams to sew, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then the side seams. So it's 6 long seams. Now I'm doing the shoulder seams, 1/2 inch seam allowance. These I'm going to press open, and then I'm going to head to the serger, finish up the princess seams together. I bought pre-made bias tape. It had 2 folds. What I did though was cut off the first fold so that it would end up the width that the pattern says right there, 1.5 inches. After doing that, the other fold I had, I pressed it flat. I just have a flat bias piece. Then you need to fold this in half, and this is how we're going to use it already folded in half. I've gone ahead and sewed my binding to the neckline. Now, before sewing it on, I took this placket and folded it onto itself, the line there. It's marked on the pattern, and folded that right sides together. Once I had that on, I got my binding and put it on top, overlapping the edge. It doesn't have to go all the way here. You can cut it a little shorter. Then when we flip it, this binding is going to come from behind the placket right there. So it doesn't have to go all the way. I decided to back mine up by about 3/4 inch. And then I just pinned it and sewed it. You can see the seam better on this side. So that's all the way around. I'm going to trim the seam allowance just a little bit, like 1/8 inch, just to reduce the bulk. And I'm going to do this the same on the armholes and the neckline. This is a shoulder seam here at the back area. I'm going to do a few snips. The front is a V, so you don't really need to snip into that part right there. And now, as always, we're going to extend this bias and push the seam allowance that we have underneath, and that's where we're going to edge stitch, under stitching right there. I feel like I'm pretty much done. I have hand basted everything, and now I just have a lot of top stitching to do. I've got the binding hand basted down on the inside. I've got the same on the armholes. I've even done the mitered corner right here. And so I just have a lot of top stitching to do. I'm going to be sewing from the wrong side, and it's still going to look nice on the outside. I just can see what I'm doing much better over here. Basically for me, the neckline, the hem, all of it is going to be continuous all the way around, and then I'll finish with the armholes. Try it on, mark where I want my buttonholes to be. I have 10 buttons, so I hope it's enough. And that's it. This is going to take me a long way. I love the green denim. It's a color that I didn't have. The stretch is just enough for comfort. It's not extremely stretchy, which I don't like that much. So I'm very happy. The sewing was so nice, and the fit is just great. Don't forget that it's 20% off through next Tuesday, the 24th. That's all from me. I'm going to head back to sewing because there's a lot you'll see from me in the next couple of days. See you then. Bye.